Merriman, they were like incredibly strong. Vernon showed up strong as hell, which was weird. Just out of Dunbar High School in DC. Like he showed up looking like he had been in a full real weight program, and that's not what he was in. He was stronger than everybody on day one. It was kind of scary. But yeah. I'm a lighter dude, but I'm pretty strong. I had 355 on the bench, Pablo. That was my man.
Okay.
Wait, so Spencer, I don't know anything about anything, obviously, in regards to
how's that weight program at Harvard?
It's real great. I am the pound for pound king of people who've never lifted pounds.
This is really
so.
Really
let's just put it this way: Fox playing at you playing at 165, 170, or
like 170.
170. Okay, my eyeballs, amazing. So if you were at 170, you're doing 2 times body weight. We're talking ants. That's ant grade strength.
I'm 180 now. Unfortunately, I can't keep it off. But yeah, I got ant grade strength. Let it be known.
Yeah.
Wait, and Spencer, where are you at?
My lifetime max is 315. I'm probably around 275 right now.
Nothing more riveting than old dudes talking about when they used to be strong.
Yeah, no. And like proportionally, this is why Fox is like mad respectable, because Fox is putting up 2 times, whereas I'm just a gigantic, like, layabout, and I can't even come close to that fractional strength. So respect. Massive respect there.
This is putting me to sleep, and it's about how awesome I am. So can we get a question, please?
Speaking of respect, very quickly, we got into this because you were talking about Wee Man. We got into this because you were talking about Vern Troyer. R.I.P. Vern Troyer. I meant to tell you guys that, but we lost him a couple years ago.
We knew.
Like we should recognize that.
Yeah.
Wait, you guys ready
for
the
question, please?
Yeah.
You knew that?
Okay.
Not exactly breaking news.
Get your man, Pablo. Get him.
Okay. First question. All right. So the Nets got crushed last night after falling behind 28-2 in an NBA game to start. What did that performance tell you ahead of tomorrow's trade deadline?
It tells me that you're liable to show up at a Nets game, and if you don't actually follow all of the gossip on Twitter, you will be extraordinarily confused as to what's actually happening in reality. Because you went to this game last night, and the Nets starting lineup combined for 21 points total. Kevin Durant didn't play. He's hurt. Kyrie Irving didn't play. It's a home game. James Harden didn't play because I'm going to use very large scare quotes here. Hamstring tightness. And James Harden has now missed 3 straight games with hamstring tightness. While simultaneously, if you're on the internet, Brian Windhorst is telling everybody that the Nets and the Sixers are in the trade zone to actually get James Harden out of Brooklyn and to Philly. So all of which is to say that many, many things are happening, and none of that was obvious if you just watched what happened to the Nets, which is, they got wrecked by a Celtics team with maybe the best defense in the NBA right now.
Just get the trade done. It's not that complicated. I mean, just get the trade done. The 2 principles that we understand, the 2 crown jewels of the trade, send them to where they're supposed to be so they can start playing and we can watch this again and actually enjoy it and appreciate it rather than talking about it, because everything else around this, none of it matters. What are they arguing about? This seems like honestly, in my view, it seems like a fairly even trade. James Harden is a MVP caliber guy with 1 year left on his deal, so that degrades his value some. Also, his numbers aren't as high as they've been in the past, degrades his value some. You get a younger guy in Ben Simmons, who's all NBA talent, but is not much on the offensive end as far as scoring is concerned. So it feels like this balances out. Seems like a fair trade to me. He's locked up longer in the contract situation. Make it happen. You want to send some other faceless guys around back and forth to make the numbers fit.
Matisse Thybulle, Tyrese Maxey, Jordan Schultz is apparently saying that the Sixers are being asked for both of those guys in a Ben Simmons trade with Philly. With the Nets, Spencer, I just want to point this out. Beyond James Harden having a player option, he could be a totally unrestricted free agent this summer. The reason why we're here still talking about this, to Domonique's point, is that the GM of the Nets, Sean Marks, and the GM of the Sixers, Daryl Morey, they're those guys who love to win trades.
Is Daryl the GM? I know he's in charge, but
he's
I think
the president of basketball operations. That's
Elton Brand's still the GM, right?
Yeah. Elton Brand's the GM. James Harden has hamstring tightness. So the point is that these guys are haggling about trying to win every single margin of this deal, Spencer. And so, yeah, we'll probably go till 3 p.m. tomorrow, the actual deadline.
You see, that's the nerd drama part of it, right? I want to win a trade. I want to take value and trade it for higher value. I want to improve the assets of this franchise. I don't care about that. You know what? Assets. Profits exceeding taxable margins. Woo! No. Nobody gets excited for that, right? Except the nerds. You know what I want? I want free agent James Harden. Because you know what we get? The hottest of hot boy summers. That's what you get. Can you imagine anything better than James Harden being wined and dined across the NBA for his services? That's all I want out of it.
Please don't, Pablo. You're opening a door that Pablo is most certainly going to walk through, and I don't want him to.
In it.
Get
we
out.
We already have a strip club named Assets.
Oh,
we already have a tour of. I mean, James Harden, when he got out, by the way, the reason I can very confidently go hamstring tightness for the podcast audience, giant bunny ear scare quotes there, is because when James Harden tried to get out of Houston the last time he went on, this Carmen Sandiego-esque global tour of nightclubs and strip clubs, like, this is what he does. Like, he loves to exit places when he feels it necessary.
But that's not how you attract somebody like James Harden. Like, he has already sampled all the wares. You're not going to impress him with what you got. Like, he knows the best of the best. So don't pretend like he already knows what your city got as far as that's concerned. Maybe you need to take him to the local used bookstore. Find something that you can show him that someone else hasn't tried. Like, that's the move. If you've ever been on a recruiting trip as an athlete, I've been on one. I got tired of going to all your little rinky-dink local strip clubs. It was depressing and sad. Like, it's not a sales pitch. Take me somewhere else. Show me something different. Impress me some other way.
Yeah. And additionally, by the way, you said this was a fair trade, right? Okay, I agree with that adjective. That's fair. What kind of fair are we talking, though? Because when you trade James Harden for Ben Simmons, I have a legit question here, okay? What on earth is happening? How do you describe that exchange? What are the assets in question? Because I know Harden's going to get shots up, and I know he's going to get points. But his performance in the postseason, if that is what he is looking for, and that is what you are looking for as a franchise, has been a wild ride, a carnival of potential outcomes, none of which have been particularly successful, and all of which have been real interesting. In addition to that, what on earth is going the other way? The Nets are dysfunctional, and you're going to get Ben Simmons? I don't want to be overly simple about it, but what exactly are you getting with him? Is he even any good?
So is it true that the postseason histories of both of these men are littered with giant California king-sized beds that have been soiled in the night?
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. That is true. But what the logic here is and why this is exciting to, I think, NBA fans and nerds, and yeah, I get it, Alabaster. Thank you.
It's back.
We got 12:38 p.m. Eastern, 9:38 a.m. Pacific to get the Ben Simmons card. The point is, like, these are two deeply broken households, and they see in that other piece the puzzle piece that they need. So, like, I personally, as a Ben Simmons stan, I can't say simp because, that's just wrong in today's society.
Say it.
But as a Ben Simmons stan, I can tell you that what he does provide for the Nets, because he doesn't need to shoot, because they do need defense, because they do need someone to pass the ball. They do need someone who can play 100% of their games, now that he has been vaccinated. All of that, I expect him to be a world beater if he goes to Brooklyn. And if you're the Sixers, like, Spencer, let's be honest about this too, right? You know how, like, theoretically, I won't presume anything about any of our households, which are clearly just in very good shape. You have exceptions. You have a list of, like, hey, if you run into George Clooney, like, totally get it. A pass. The list of, like, Daryl Morey, his George Clooney is James Harden.
I think that you've created. I'm not gonna follow you down this weird path. I'm gonna take us down a different weird path. You've created
Rachel Lee Cook.
You created wife swap. Like, you remember that show Wife Swap? And the point of it was you would go to someone else's house, and then by the end you realize that you were better off where you were, and they would construct this. But this is different. This is a wife swap where you go and they're like, oh, actually, this place is better for me. Yes, Black Dad, you have to stay here now. This is now your house. These are now your white children. So, like, that is what happens, because I think the dysfunction that both of these players have had, like the question, it's like a puzzle piece, as we were talking about before the show started. These are perfect fits. The issue with James Harden, in my view at least, is they ask a lot of him throughout the course of his season, like at the many places that he was in throughout the course of his playoff runs, and he's not always like in tip-top physical condition. So at the end of games, when they need him to do James Harden things, maybe he's not in the best shape to do that. The perfect place for him to go is where they're playing with what looks like the league MVP, Joel Embiid, who cannot close games because he's a big and not a ball handler. Like, this is the perfect place for him. Then you go to other place. I don't need to go into all that stuff too, but if your problem is you don't want to shoot, going somewhere where Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are, it's a pretty good place. You really like to play defense. You're really good at it. Go out there, play perimeter defense. Like, it seems like that all of these places, that both of these places are broken, but the key is like a little bit up 95. Like, the key is right there. I can imagine a scenario where you make this swap and all the issues that both of these franchises have had kind of go away.
I am the resident pessimist here. I'm just going to say you won't get two solutions out of this. Okay. Somebody's going to get the raw end of this. Okay. And by my guessing, and based on this, which is that one of these players made the Atlanta Hawks happy as a franchise in his role in a basketball game, I don't think it'll be the Nets. I could see, like, Fox, you taught me into that. I could see it working out in Philly. I really could, especially with the lack of mileage that Harden has had this season relative to his other seasons. With the Ben Simmons thing, no, I'm sorry. You made the Hawks happy once. I have no faith in you as a player. None. I hope I'm wrong.
I wish I had a better counter argument.
No, the counter argument is they were asking him to do something in true Bill Belichick form. You don't ask players to do things they're not good at. They're not going to ask him to do that stuff.
That's right.
So that's what changes it to me. And the idea, we got a little bit away from the idea of wanting to win the trade. That's what's really ruining all of this, is them trying to want to win the trade because they're looking at the value of these players outside of their franchise. The value of both of these players inside their franchise, it's equivalent. Like, it's a fair trade in my view. So stop worrying about what people are going to write and how you're going to be thought about and whether you can puff your chest out at the Sloan conference or not.
There we go.
Stupid trade.
There we go.
Can we get a powerlifting panel at the Sloan conference, incidentally? Can we get that going in March? Alabaster, what do you want?
So one thing, Domonique, you're saying that the Sixers asked Ben Simmons to do things that he couldn't do? They literally asked him to be the third offensive option, just like the Nets will, and he refused to take layups and dunks over tiny Trae Young.
What has happened in Philly to Ben Simmons is that everybody started thinking that he should behave like a normal point guard, a guy who shoots as often as he passes. He is a 7-foot-tall man. Like, my whole hobby horse with Ben Simmons is think of him as a center who can magically do other stuff and then calibrate your expectations from there. So being the third offensive option, Alabaster, yes, that is so, but also, I mean,
and it's
Tobias Harris really throw. I mean, I guess,
and it's also like recency bias. I think it's fair to be critical of him passing up that layup, but let's be clear. They tried to get Ben Simmons to do everything throughout the course of his time there. They're like, you got to learn how to shoot threes. You got to do this. You got to do that, except for like emphasizing the things that he does well. Get rebounds, run in transition, play perimeter defense. They wanted him to be like a superstar type guy, which at least the way that we look at superstar type guys, like, he doesn't have the scoring ability to do that. Like, he has something else, which works out quite well, but doesn't work out if you think that he's going to be a guy who closes games for you with the ball in his hand. That ain't him.
Thank you. Spencer, don't do whatever it is you're about to do. What?
They're all valid points, and I reject them on superstition alone.
I mean, you know what? We'll get presumably to like the counterfactual, right? If Philly fans got what they wanted by yelling at Ben Simmons for years now, you would get what is happening to Russell Westbrook. I just want to be very clear about this. You want him to shoot? You don't want him to shoot.
Yeah,
why do you want him to shoot?
Why
do you want him to shoot? And so, last note on this, because it's live and maybe we'll get like a trade update later. We'll return to all of this in the course of this hour because we are in, again, the trade zone. Like, I love the idea that like the reason all of this is happening is because James Harden is like, nope, I want out of here. Nope. You guys could sign me. Philly, you want to sign me as unrestricted free agent in the summer? Nope. I don't want to spend the next 3 months in Brooklyn with Kyrie at a bunch of like hipster strip clubs that I don't really even go to because
Allegedly.
of the Omicron protocols, allegedly. Yeah, no, not my deal.
What?
I want out.
We need new jokes for Harden. I need to like give him a fictional
Yeah,
craft
I know, I
hobby or
agree.
something, right?
I'm
I need a
so-
supportive.
I'm
I
so
need a
sick of
supportive
this.
craft
Can we
community.
generate
I
a
tried
new hobby
No,
for James
you're
Harden?
not invited. I tried to steer us
Hey,
away
I
from
went-
this, and you
I
took
went-
us there. You're not
Dominique,
invited.
I went whale watching for my bachelor party.
No, I don't care about what hobbies
I am
you
the
have.
life James
I'm
Harden could be
saying that
living.
every time James Harden comes up, you are in a race against no one to say strip club. And I wanted to stop. You're not invited. Spencer, what do you think? You want him to be a crafter of
Don't
some
raise a
kind?
jersey.
Oh,
in a strip
yeah,
club if
big
you don't want to be known
reader.
as that guy.
He's gonna have an Etsy page. We're gonna get him into indie crafts, right? He's gonna crochet. Like this is the new James Harden.
It's
This is
like-
yeah.
Celebrities only like exist in our mind as like flat characters, and we like pick one or two things about them. What's been pretty impressive is that James Harden's predilection for adult entertainment has overtaken his beard, which
Yes.
the beard, or
Yeah.
maybe it's the fact that the rest of society has joined the James Harden beard cult. And now it's like, that's not weird, because at one point we all talked about, yeah, by the way, when you said your superstition, that was one of the things I love about you, Spencer, is all the things that come out of your mouth. So few of them match with your appearance. But when you started talking about superstition, I was like, there it is.
There we
That's
go.
the beard talking right there. That's the beard talking.
It's the wisdom of the ancients that escapes quantification, Fox. That's what this is.
Exactly. Who says that? Who has such a glorious beard? But anyway, what's it going to be? Is he going to be like a model car builder? I don't know.
Oh yeah, we could do that. Listen, we just need to get him. We need to get him past Pablo's obsession with his
Guys,
nightlife
I-
and get him
I-
into what he's doing during the day.
I'm just going to tell you, when I visited James Harden during the day to profile him for ESPN the magazine when he was living in Calabasas in a rented home over the summer several years ago, he had a money counter on his table. Like, what do you want me to just like neuralize myself from not seeing that? Like, come on.
No, that's just all that you saw. Yeah, that was bad. It was awful, unfortunate. That's all that you
journalism.
saw. You weren't looking around. There was so much more. You walked in there like, what strip club paraphernalia can I find to add color to my story? And that's what you found. You walk right past the books, the puzzles, the World War II model airplanes that he was building.
Yeah.
You walk past all of it. You're like, oh, money counter. Let's write about money counters. That's what you did.
Also, we're gonna come back to this theme, I suspect. But you know what? He's got the money, hater. That's it. Point to the bank account. When all of this ends, we're just telling jokes about Ben Simmons and James Harden. Both of them could come back and be like, bank account balance, game
Fair.
over.
That's a fair point. They win in this stupid game of capitalism, we just make fun of them.
No, I mean, by the way, I'm not making fun as someone who is also obviously sex positive. Like, I'm just pointing out that, like, these are characteristics we've all leaned into.
That's where I was definitely going with this, Pablo.
You are sex positive, but I have a feeling that your partners, they might be negative.
What? Don't do it. Don't do it.
They might be like,
Don't
nah,
do it, Dominique. Don't
I'll
do
pass on that in them jeans.
it. They love the quilts I knit. There it is. I'm not even going to explain for the podcast audience what's
Yeah.
happening. I think you already know.
Yeah.
So, great.
Yes, they know. They know about you and your very concerning jeans that refuse to be replaced.
Those are birth control. That's what those are.
And they're not even tight, but still,
No.
somehow. They
But
work
appalling in
as-
their own right.
Oh, it rhymes, so
Guys.
you know it's true.
Guys are
All right, Pablo.
just one demographic. It's a big country out there.
Yeah. No, that's the problem is we know that those genes are strong in a certain
Yeah.
demographic. Those genes are very popular amongst people who like big belt buckles, let's say. Those genes are popping amongst people who look at other people and say, oh yeah, he's a good one. Those genes are popular amongst that group. Those genes aren't popular with me and Spencer, though.
No, sir.
You guys just never get mad at what they've done to Mr. Potato Head, really? You're not even
No.
gonna...
Those
Not a
genes-
little bit? Not just
No.
a little bit?
I'm not cut. Listen, you'll notice
Can't
I'm
even
not
be
doing,
Mr. Potato Head anymore.
I'm not
Can't
doing
even
this
do
from my
that.
car. I don't have a goatee, right?
I got a question. Pablo, you're in Los Angeles right now.
I'm in Los Angeles right now. That's right.
You packed for the week for the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
Did your successionist jeans make the trip or not?
Yeah, they didn't survive when I forded the river over here. Yeah.
Pablo, you pack for a week. As somebody who I know has accidentally embraced the art of dirtbag living on an occasion or two.
You can see my background. Yeah, it's pretty.
How many pairs of pants do you pack for a week?
So, all right. So I have like the pants that I would wear when I'm like trying to meet people who may employ me, and then there's just the track pants.
This sounds like two. This sounds like you packed two for a week.
Oh, and I brought shorts. Is that? But
that's it. You're there for a week and you got 3. How many underwear do you pack?
Pound for pound, I have more than enough jeans. Do the math.
You got a 25-pound pair of Freedom jeans. That's what you got.
Oh my
God. Do those go off when they go
jeans.
through the metal detector at TSA just on principle, just because of the density?
Yeah, those jeans are yelling about the Second Amendment before they even get to the metal detector.
Those jeans are declaring everything, just to make sure that you know what they're about.
So I just want everybody to know, Pablo did not deny 7 days, 3 pairs of lower body gear. 3. That's what it sounded like.
Good
also,
luck.
I like that you are well into adulthood with a child, and you have also said that you go, I have pants that I wear when I meet people who employ me. That's not just slacks or pants.
Pants
job
and freedom pants,
job.
Which are different from freedom jeans for reasons that are already clear.
Clearly, only you in your freedom jeans would call those job pants. Those are clearly called church pants. Everybody knows that your slacks are called church pants. Whether you're wearing them to church, whether you believe in God or not. Nice pants called church pants, not work pants.
See, Domonique, as someone who was raised Catholic, has embraced all of the 7 sacraments. I sit so far in the back that my pants at church are never even seen.
Doesn't matter.
I'm
still
blending
called
all
church
the way
pants.
into the background.
I don't wear church pants to church either, but they're still called church pants. I'm putting on my church pants.
I mean, I'm a savage. Wow. Like, full disclosure, I'm a savage who barely knows how to dress myself. I'm a step past that. I would at least refer to them as church pants. And if I was going for 7 days, full disclosure, I'm at least packing more than 3.
All right. I can't take this sanitary condescension from the beard of the ancients, Alabama.
This is clean. It's clean.
Please.
It looks great.
I feel like I'm talking to one of those wise trees in Lord of the Rings.
No, but the reason why that look works for Spencer is because he's found his niche and he committed to it. You, on the other hand, are trying to be something you're not. You are like what's happening to Ben Simmons is like, hey, Ben Simmons, be this other thing, be what we believe a superstar to be, and you're trying and coming up short. Whereas my man Spencer's like, you know what? I'm really good at defense and ball handling. Lean in. I know somebody who like it.
And you know what? Much like Ben Simmons, you don't actually want me in the fancy pants. You think you want me in the fancy pants. You don't. You do not.
We have a picture of you in some pretty fancy jeans, and I would agree.
Church pants, Pablo. They're
Rag
called
and
church
bone.
pants.
They're very expensive, and they're totally normal jeans.
Oh my
Find a new
gosh.
slant.
You went to the expensive?
Find a new slant.
Give us a new
tapped
topic.
The wallet. He tapped the wallet.
He tapped the
guys.
wallet on.
We're gonna move on, but just for posterity, 6 minutes ago, Brian Windhorst reported that James Harden is pushing for a trade and is, this is a quote, screaming in every way possible he can to get out of Brooklyn. Just a wonderful update.
Screaming in every way possible.
That is the wisdom of the ancients, my friends. That is somebody who knows how the NBA really works.
All right, our next topic of more NBA misery. How much worse do you think this Russell Westbrook Lakers situation can get?
This was sad, man.
It's bad. I'm not even laughing. This is just depressing to watch a player.
Should we watch the video?
Yeah, I guess.
So
guys, that new Taylor Swift album coming out soon. Keep your heads up. It's gonna be flames. I'll be out there next time. She be spitting. I love when she get a break up and put some on wax. That's the one thing we know about Russell Westbrook, right? Is like he
does love Taylor Swift.
That's the go-to.
No,
he's into the sad songs right now because this is bad. This is deeply disturbing.
Oh, Shake It Off. He needs to be bumping Shake It Off. That's the only Taylor Swift song I know. That thing knock a little bit. I gotta be honest with you.
Yeah.
Shake it off. Shake it off.
It is. I mean, why are we denying that Taylor Swift has bangers? I mean, come on, guys. Like,
I don't know.
I don't banger. I'm with one.
Well, there's one person. Oh no, another one. Oh,
yeah.
No.
Okay, so let's go from the sad embrace on the bench during the game to what Russell Westbrook apparently did afterwards.
And I told him I wish I could help him. Unfortunately, I wasn't in the game to be able to help them, and that's why I came here to be able to help them out. So unfortunately, I haven't been able to do that, for them. But that's not my call.
Do you have a sense for what benchmarks you have to hit to be in the starting line or the closing lineup more consistently?
For me, I shouldn't have to hit any benchmark, to be honest. I put a lot of work in. I got a lot of respect in this game. I don't have to hit a benchmark. I shouldn't have to. I earned the right, to be in closing lineups.
See, that's why when he went and embraced Anthony Davis and LeBron that way, they just awkwardly looked away. Like that is the mentality that is incredibly, incredibly difficult to address in this particular moment.
I feel so bad for him because he has gotten to the point in life where he finally got an invite to the penthouse suite of all penthouse suites in the NBA. He finally gets on the Lakers after playing in Oklahoma and then playing for the Wizards, which is traditionally just like some sort of evil ancient death curse upon careers. And he somehow winds up at the Lakers at a point in his career where he could really take advantage of it. And it's not happening. That sucks so bad.
It's really the opposite of happening.
Yeah, I wish I had like something more eloquent to say about that other than that sucks, man. I'm real sorry, but it is just not happening.
It's really bad. I liked when all the nerds were down on James Harden, but he was putting on a show elsewhere and we were having fun with it. And like I recognize that, yeah, James Harden is unusual piece to fit into certain places. So I was very sad when he went to the Lakers because I knew what was going to happen.
Westbrook, yeah, God.
Oh, I said James Harden?
Conflating two guys who love to do
I mean Westbrook, my bad. I'm still thinking about James Harden screaming. But anyway, I appreciated the way that he played when it didn't matter, and it was fun and everyone would complain about him. Now he's playing somewhere and it matters that he's not all that good and he's not enjoying it. Like I can't find any fun in this. And when he's like hissing mad, trying to do this rebellious stuff that I used to think was cool, it just now kind of looks like sad. It's like the 17-year-old who's like a rebel cool guy is now 38 and still doing the same stuff. And it ain't hitting on nothing no more. It's weird. It's weird now if you try to do like the rebel things that you did, like smoking behind the school. That ain't popping when you're 38. When you're 17, you're like, hey, he's dangerous. But now,
And so now at the crypto.com arena or whatever the hell we're calling it, he's being booed all of the time. And even Domonique, even like the instincts that I think we have to like, how do we be contrarian, different angle analyst gas bag guy here? Like he's hitting like the side of the backboard. They're booing him. And then he goes after the game and says it's a sign of respect. And there's just a level of he's just defiant enough to make it so that it's really hard to find.
What do you do in this situation? Like, what is it, Spencer? Let's say you are transported into his body and you now control him. What do you say? What do you do?
Freaky Friday with Russell Westbrook. How are you living your life?
Yeah, how do you handle this situation? Because obviously it feels like the way he's handling it is not right.
I would do exactly what he did, which is tap my wallet. Coming back to that theme, I would tap my wallet. Last night, after that game, in addition to all the other comments we heard, he mentioned the fact that he's making, around $90 million total, Now, I will tell
So
you,
much
two things
fun.
happen when you do this. You lose the argument because you have admitted, I have nothing else to stand on my bank account. Contrarily, you also win the argument because you got $90 million. Like, Russell Westbrook gets to go cry in a Lambo if he wants. Like weeping in the Murcielago to all the Taylor Swift that he can handle, right? Playing red in his beautiful,
Oh gosh. You
18,000
can't even think of
square foot
another
home.
rich car. Oh, okay.
I can go on rich cars. I just
I-
can't buy one, unlike Russell Westbrook, who
I
could
do
buy
love
all day.
I do love that as a song title, "Weeping in My Murcielago." Like that sounds like
Hmm.
a hit if I ever heard one, like a trap breakup song.
Oh, yeah.
"Weeping in My Murcielago" goes hard. I'm
No,
working on that as soon as we're done.
That's definitely on the Kanye album. That's in the same song where he talks about murdering Pete Davidson.
Oh,
That's definitely in that one.
Kanye.
Why are you gonna murder Pete? That's not like murder seems like grandiose for Pete. Seems like you could just send
I
a nasty
agree.
text.
I
Leave you alone.
agree. I agree. But if you're
Oh.
Russell Westbrook right now, incidentally, like what I think, Dominic, because you said it before, right? Like the most fun version of Russell Westbrook is when he is alone in a sad place and punching his way out. And I want, like, there are not many players who I would categorize this way, but Russell Westbrook might be the greatest bad team superstar there has ever been,
Right.
which means lean into that. Just if you can.
You can't
if
lean
you-
into it though, because when
he
he's
wants
doing
to
that,
be a good player in the NBA.
no, he's on LeBron James's team with Anthony Davis.
Oh no,
Like,
I'm saying I agree. I'm saying
You're saying
you
get
gotta
traded
start
out of there.
Scream in every direction that
To
you
get
want to
traded.
go to. I don't know. What's the worst team in the NBA right now?
I
Alabaster.
don't know. OKC. Go back to OKC.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's the only place
Back
you can
to
go.
OKC.
That's the only place you can
Back
go.
to the future.
Oh, I don't want to see his face if that happens again. I don't. I do not. That is a degree because it's what speaking as somebody who I appreciate Russell Westbrook on a level I think different than the hardcore NBA fan, because the hardcore NBA fan will point to utility, usage, that will point to his plus or minus. Anyone who
That's
just
one
watches
type
the
of hardcore NBA fan. To be clear, that's not all hardcore NBA fans.
Clear,
Those
but
are the dummies on Twitter.
if you're like me and you just like loud noises and things going bang, for a long time, that was Russell Westbrook. If you just wanted to see a dude video game his stats, right? If you wanted to see a
Yes.
guy who was going to get only the flashiest and most thunderous of triple doubles, that was your dude. And this is sad. This fills me with sorrow. I don't even get to enjoy it on an aesthetic level. Like, what if he was just there sucking all the oxygen out of the room, taking every shot, and making a pretty decent number of them, right? He would be a nuisance. This doesn't even have the amusement of a nuisance.
He's an action movie that had far too many sequels. Like, while all of the NBA nerds like want to see a film, they want to see a masterpiece of art.
Criterion
made.
Collection. Yes.
Yeah, we get him coming out of there, and he is fast and furious. It's a lot of fun. Don't look for some deeper meaning. Do not look for artistic appreciation. Just have
Don't
a good
ask-
time.
Don't ask why we're in space right now.
Yeah,
Nope.
don't.
We're in space now.
But yeah, he is on. I don't know, Russell Westbrook part 13, and
Yeah.
he's getting too old for this stuff. As a reference to one of my favorite action movies.
But so too feels LeBron, who said after the game on the
Yeah,
being
that was
too
a
old
bad
for
quote.
this. Do I think we can reach the level where Milwaukee is right now? Question mark. No. Period.
No, that's not even the worst one. I believe that they also asked, "Can you?" And he was like, "Nah." Not only do you think you're at that level, can you get there? Like, nah, I don't think so. Am I right, Alabaster? I'm sorry, I don't want to be putting out misinformation, but I thought that I read that quote this morning that the follow-up was like, "Can you get there?" And oh yeah,
There we go.
yeah. Okay.
But let me give you another
Do I
sad
think we can
quote.
reach the level? Right? Yeah.
There's another sad quote though, because Anthony Davis is the other figure in all of this, right? And Anthony Davis had been sort of beefing implicitly with Russell Westbrook earlier, and he's asked after the game. This is the kicker of Dave McMenamin's story about this entire debacle. He says, "I don't think we've given up on this," and that's just like, ooh. That's
I
not
don't
enough
think we've
conviction.
given up on this.
I don't think we've given up on this. I know we haven't. Like Bron said, we got a lot of basketball left. We can turn this around. We take a lot of work. We got to buy in, play hard, play selfless, and try to turn this around before it gets really bad.
Only only like 75% of the house is on fire. That's not. That's what that is.
We got one bathroom still usable, guys, so we're all right. What you got, Alabaster?
So I have one more LeBron quote I want to read to you guys because I think it's significant. And it's him talking about the situation. He says, obviously, lately, Russ hasn't felt like he's had the opportunity, or with the opportunities he's been given, he hasn't helped us as much as he would like. We haven't done a good enough job helping him. I find that to be ridiculous since LeBron James literally became a center to help Russell Westbrook. Anthony Davis, after a decade long of protesting it, became a center to help Russell Westbrook. Is there any way these two guys can actually help him? Because the only trade out there is it's making me nauseous to think about it, is to trade him for John Wall, who is just a worse version of Russell Westbrook.
It's a really good point. It's a really Alabaster. I mean, it is comical the degree to which everyone else on the Lakers has modulated how they play basketball. And Russell Westbrook has, for all the reasons we loved him in bad teams, has not. And
isn't the only version of Russell Westbrook that we've seen be like effective to a potential championship level was when he was playing center?
Yes,
in
with
Houston?
the Rockets in that spell when he was convinced to not
Yeah.
shoot and just play like a fake big Ben Simmons style.
Yeah. So like, I'm confused. How is this helping Russell? Like putting your best players closer to the basket is not helping someone who can't shoot far away from the basket.
But Spencer, I feel like we're at the point here also where when you hear your friends talk about you in ways that are too nice, you know something really bad is happening.
Oh, yeah. It's very, very bad when all of a sudden it's, we should help you. That means we can't even rag on you. We can't even cut on you. Right? We can't like, you're past that. You're past the point of fragility, right? You're broken.
We're worried about you.
Yeah. We got to go get like maybe if we hung with John Wall, things would be better. That's where we're at. We're going to get double Wizards contamination in this franchise. Like you're going back for a second dose of it. That's not anything you want to happen to your player. Additionally, too, like I think this is just when you get people who are very talented together and you stack them up, it doesn't always equal something good. This is like an alien's idea of food, right? When you go, well, you eat a hamburger and you eat chocolate, and those are two things people love, right? Why don't we just throw a big old steak on top of that, and then maybe, like, no, this is the Hardee's approach, right? Not to slam on Hardee's, much respect to Hardee's, but sometimes Hardee's is just like, maybe you want a hamburger inside your hamburger. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
The exhibit approach to fine dining.
You're talking about Pimp My Ride?
You like a steak, so we put a steak in your steak.
More is not always more, especially if the expiration date on some of those goods happens to be well past the label.
What's the one thing that we know about John Wall? Because we were talking about how James Harden, we know the one thing is he's a strip club connoisseur, and we are overdoing that. And then we said Russell, his one thing is that he's really into Taylor Swift. Like, when I think of John Wall, the one thing that comes to mind is the Dougie.
Yeah.
An innocent time. Yep.
Brand new.
Yep.
And I feel like people didn't like that. He like
no,
introduced
Colin
himself.
Cowherd got
Colin
really
Cowherd
mad
had an
at
issue
him.
with the Dougie of all things.
Yep. Yeah. A take which is definitely held up as athletes proceeded to stop dancing.
He did
I thought Colin Cowherd was like upset about backwards hats. Wasn't that his thing?
Also that.
Also that. If the Dougie is the backwards hat of dances,
unbecoming.
Yes. Yeah.
Is there an appropriate dance? Is there a dance that Colin Cowherd in Pablo's jeans would appreciate?
The Charleston?
The running. We'll go a little more contemporary if you came out doing the Running Man. Right?
You'd be all right with that? I don't know. I feel like he's a Watusi guy. He's a Watusi only guy.
Any dance where your fingers are extended into points.
Yeah, I think, no movement below the hips. Absolutely none for families. I always felt like John Wall had that John Cena vibe of this, of like, he's trying hard, right? Like, you know what, no matter what. That was always the thing with John Cena, right? Like, he's trying hard, 100% commitment. You're like, John Wall, trying hard, 100% commitment. What's the record of the team? 100% commitment, trying real hard. What did he shoot? The man is trying. Like, DC fans would always passionately defend John Wall and say, wow, there's 100% commitment to the bit here. He is down for DC. He absolutely loves us. And you're like, how'd y'all do? What? How'd that shake out?
It doesn't matter. It's about the love. I miss John Wall here in the nation's capital.
You know, but there is a kind
It
of
was fun.
John Wall. I mean, but there is. If you guys have, I mean, you guys have both seen John Wall play basketball. There is the dynamic.
Not in a long
of,
time.
like, not in a long ass time. In a crazily long time, actually, when you think about it.
Yeah.
But there is a John Wall is the Scorpion to Russell Westbrook's Sub-Zero. They're kind of like mirror images of each other. Like, they're both terrible at shooting, super fast, never stop trying, are best on bad teams. But also there are just like slight differences. Like, oh, that one has a blue bandana.
How is Russell so bad at defense, though? Like, that confuses me. Because, like...
That's a hustle thing, right?
So
Yeah,
Domonique,
and his
so you're saying
athleticism and
as a
explosiveness.
pound for pound champion, you can't relate to someone who is wildly athletic and does not use that athleticism towards defense.
I
Yeah.
mean, I guess when I think about what makes a good defender, and like I play basketball, and I play basketball a lot like Russell Westbrook, because I'm normally like a better athlete than most people out there. I have not taken the time to refine my shooting or anything like that. I'm going to the rack, banging on fools, outrunning people, like doing athlete things. And also on the defensive side of the ball, it's like really hard to score on me because you're not gonna like go around me or get a clean shot. And I don't understand how that doesn't translate for him.
Oh, Domonique. I love that we finally, in our friendship, in this show, we finally gotten to the point where Domonique becomes a you're not trying hard enough professional athlete guy. That's what we just did.
That's not what I'm saying.
Defense
That's
is
not what I'm
effort,
saying.
Domonique. That's what you just said.
I did
Defense
not
is
say
effort,
that.
and he's not trying. That's what you said.
Defense is more than effort. I said I don't get it. I just don't get it. Understanding rotations and whatnot, how to treat screens and picks and whatnot, all that stuff is part of defense. Understanding where people are going to go, anticipating the stuff they're going to run, like that's defense too. And I just don't get it.
I do like the admission that you have not refined your game, i.e., you're going to put these shots up. You're going to get these shots up.
Absolutely
I've seen
right.
it. I've
Yeah.
seen it.
Yeah.
I admire this. I also want, at this stage in Russell Westbrook's career with this psyche going on, most of it is sad to me, but if I put it in this context, it's very amusing to me. I want to go to a blackjack table with him. Because right now, with that mindset, Russell Westbrook, I'm not talking the $100 tables. We're going to go to like the $10 tables. I just want to watch him hit on 18, right? She's going to shoot. She's going to shoot. I just want to watch him go. The math's going to work. The math's going to work. Just keep it going, boys.
What if he just went on a hot streak? That's what we need. We need him to go on a hot streak and just
he'd
like
be
turn
so
it.
fun on a hot
What if he
streak.
turned into Steph Curry for like a week? Can you imagine what the media in general, what we all would do? He just went on. He was shooting 45% from three.
Post game, his salary go up. He'd be like, you know what? I'm shooting real well. Also, I'm making 300 mil. I'm making like 400 mil. By Thursday, it'd be like I'm making 1.8 bill. Also, you know, I hit for 62 last night.
I laugh because there is no universe in which that ever happens.
Oh, there's a universe. You
You
don't
just
believe
said
in the
it.
multiverse?
You just
No,
said it.
I believe in a multiverse, and even
So
in the
there's somewhere.
multiverse where there's an infinite number of Russell
Yeah.
Westbrooks, he is not shooting 45% from three.
He is in one of those
Guarantee-
multiverses.
One of
Nope,
them he
not
is,
even
yeah.
there. Not
You
even
don't
in
know.
that one.
You don't
I'm telling
understand.
you, not even in that one.
You don't.
Not even
you
in that
don't,
one.
You don't understand what infinite means, huh?
No, you don't understand the power of Russell Westbrook's bricks.
His bricks travel through all layers of reality.
Correct.
I like
Yes.
that you've said all physical
He's a-
possibilities are real except this one. Like just
He's a
Anything can
Nexus
happen.
event in every version of the universe. He is a Nexus character. It's just him. That's his superpower. It's just always him.
Oh gosh, I think we rang this one pretty dry.
Yeah.
we got
Alabaster.
to other universes and everything. I don't think there's anything
Someone-
left, Alabaster.
we laughed
As
a
we
lot.
move on.
I'm still sad. Still sad.
As we move on, I think all of us, as people who want the best for Russ, would like him to even shoot 35% from three for a week, which has actually never happened for a season in his career, ever.
The disdain in your voice, though, like you don't have to say it with such disgust. Like,
know what?
it's not affecting you. He's not
that's
on your
what-
team. Relax.
That's what a quitter
meanie.
says. That's what a quitter says. Okay, you're like, he's never shot 35% yet.
Yes, that just means
good
he's gonna
point.
do it.
He's due. All right, moving on. We're going to play a round of What Are the Chances? The game where we show you a clip, and then you guys tell us the chances. First one. What are the chances Eric Musselman is the right amount of excited after Arkansas beat #1 Auburn?
So it turns out, Spencer, I don't know if you knew this. Auburn was the #1 team in college basketball
Yes.
very recently.
Mm-hmm.
And then this happened, I guess, Alabaster.
Ow! That man lost his shirt. That is a grown adult man over the age of 30 with his shirt off in a college environment. This is old school.
Oh.
Goodness.
He's injured, Alabaster. Can we give... So the loss snapped Auburn's 19-game win streak, but what I saw there also indicated that one of his limbs had also been snapped. Yes, okay. He tore his rotator cuff in December when he jumped into a practice drill, to give you a sense of what Eric Musselman's whole steez is lately.
With an enthusiasm unknown to mankind, Eric Musselman out there with his arm in a sling in the middle of a college basketball post-game scrum. Also was, by his own reports, was up till about 4 a.m. last night answering text. We need to talk about the emoji response, Musselman, because now you can just you don't have to answer all of them. You can just ha it. Okay, I do that. I get like 5 texts a day, and I still do that. You got 400. We need to work on your economy of texting.
Oh yeah, Domonique does that too. We all do that. We've come to peace with that. The ha response, not a response, just the ha.
All right, you don't get that anymore. I'm done with you. I got a question. Do you think his name was spelled differently before the game? And then after he took his shirt off, they was like, all right.
Gotta lose the C.
Hey, I'm going to need you to actually have a muscle to get a C in your name, Mr. Musselman.
God.
Let's get that up out of there.
That's lean. That's lean. Also, he's been injured. He might have lost some muscle tone. That's fine. We can get it back in the gym.
Okay, well, then get back in the gym before we can spell it the right way. Right now, you're like a mollusk.
Yes, he
Not
came out of
like-
his shell and
muscle.
revealed himself to be not deserving of the C in muscle, and now you are a muscle.
So, tan, the reason bodybuilders get that tan is because it highlights and accentuates striations and differences, right? It'll make a 6-pack look like an 8-pack if you can just highlight it. The chances of a college basketball coach who, as far as I know, they live in sunless aquariums for like 8 to 9 months of the year. Even if that man was ripped, it was still going to be looking pretty pasty overall.
I as a cornerback, I believe that you should celebrate as much as possible in life. So I'm gonna be pro naked Musselman right now. It pains me. I don't like saying it, but I gotta stand by my convictions. If you get a chance to celebrate, especially given these trying times,
In these
Pablo,
trying times,
these trying times,
Agree.
if you get a chance to rip your shirt off and bounce around with some college kids, by all means, do it. I'm looking for my next opportunity. Well, no, actually, I'm not.
To get around college kids and take your shirt off? Not trying to Musselman?
That seems illegal. I need cameras everywhere like Musselman. I want this all recorded.
Public space, yes. I also, so Domonique, clearly, you're 100% on this number then? Is that what you're saying?
Hundo.
Yeah. I'm 100.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna go 100,000.
Wow.
Which I believe is the emotional number, like it's the emotional equivalent of like, when LeBron won the title and his Instagram stories became tiny little Tic Tacs. Just like posted like 1,000 updates, like Tom Brady won the Super Bowl. Like that's how Eric Musselman is approaching beating Auburn. Like everybody needs to know about this. You're getting 1 million updates, 100,000% deserved if you're Arkansas and you just beat the #1 team in the country, even though that happens to be Auburn apparently, which is jarring.
This is why Coach K is retiring, by the way. Like, think about it. He's looking around at what other coaches are doing to like hype up their programs, let things happen. Like, he's like, no, hell no, no way. Like, Coach K was raised in a school where they're like, a man takes his shirt off for 2 things: to bathe and to go to the beach once a year in business shoes, right? Once a year in shorts and business shoes. Like in Coach K's head, it's somewhere like 1955, and he's like, "This shirt stays on.
Oh,
Masculinity is a tie." And he sees the other coach go out, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not part of this world anymore. I'm out."
I hadn't even considered that. Is like that they were playing the #1 team in the country, so that's when you bring your best recruits. He had recruits there watching. He was
Yep.
like, "I'm gonna show you something." There were football recruits there. There were basketball recruits.
Mhm.
All the recruits were there. They got the win. He's naked in a sling, bouncing.
So,
Yeah, that is correct.
Important piece of context to the post game. Alabaster has just pointed this out. Eric Musselman's wife said they mutually decided that he would be sleeping in the pool house after games, win or lose, which gives you a sense of just how enthusiastic Eric Musselman is about even teams that are not #1 Auburn.
This is so important for the health of a relationship, by the way, that inevitably, if you were in a long-term relationship, one of you is way more hyped than the other. That's just how it works. One of you is going to be an unbearable, untrainable dog of a person, okay? And they should be a dog house for you, okay? That says mutually right there. That is not. I can edit that sentence for you. It says Musselman's wife decided. You can take said they mutually out of there. Gone.
Yep. Get the marker out. Get the marker out, Alabaster. Please fix this sentence immediately.
Yeah, and if you don't know if you're that person in your relationship, then you are that person.
Oh man, Pablo, how do your jeans feel about celebrating a big win like that?
I'm just worried.
Back in my jeans' day.
If Pablo
You didn't rush the court beating Auburn.
If Pablo took his shirt off, though, that's like losing a third of his wardrobe. Like if you just took it
That
off
is
there,
true.
you got to go shopping the next day, son.
How many shirts did you bring?
Oh, I got a lot of shirts, guys.
You brought
At least 9 shirts. At least 9 shirts.
So you out here trying to trick people? Like
I'm
Winnie.
I'm Winnie the Poohin' out here, man. Come on, I'm sitting on a towel right now on this hotel chair.
You pooing? Don't poo out in Cali, man. Maybe you just you're one of those rich people who don't pack luggage. You just get there, you
Carry
shop
on
when the
only.
plane
Carry on
lands.
only. No, carry
I like
on
it.
only.
Straight to Rodeo, and you get hooked up. So that's what you about to do. You about to go and get
That's
all
right.
your clothes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I respect
I'm
that.
expecting someone to Pretty Woman me in the next couple of days.
See, I'm kind of like that, except one, I'm not rich, and two, additionally, I kind of do the clothing finds me thing. Somebody will go, "Hey, would you like a free shirt?" You're like, "I got a new shirt.
Ooh.
Look at that."
It works. It is consistent with
hmm
the look. I like it.
Yeah.
You're leaning in. Pablo, on the other hand, wants people to think that he's like some cool, like metropolitan,
Cool.
hip
and
guy,
metropolitan
but then
and
goes
hip
all the
and a
way,
guy.
to L.A. with 2 pair of pants and a pair of shorts. That's
And
not cool.
his King Ranch F-150 jeans.
Oh, is an F-150 is like that's like the good one?
I mean, they have a 250 and a 350 heavy duty, I think.
It's a good starter truck, Pablo. Okay, but if you're really balling, we got to get you up to the 350 series.
Yeah, my jeans are all about finding which ones are the good ones.
Oh, get us out of here.
All right, we got one more sound for you. All right. What are the chances Lincoln Riley convinced you that he's not taking players from Oklahoma?
0.
We didn't take players from Oklahoma. We took players from the transfer portal. You know, those players and their families had to make a decision to either stay at that university, just like any other player has to make, or to enter the portal where then they can be recruited by anybody in the country.
I love the portal as a character
portal.
that we all have to talk about and just pretend like it's a normal phrase now. The portal.
Yeah, this
Obviously,
is
he's stealing players. I'm sorry, Spencer. Go for it.
I was just, I agree, fully, Fox. But I also think this is very much the a gun went off and someone was shot. That's very much like we've removed all agency from anyone, right? Like
Right.
you
A lot
ate
of passive voice. Yeah.
you ate my cookies, and I was like, well, the cookies were eaten and they were on this plate, but I didn't see a name on them. and I availed myself of them, and then they became my cookies. That's the deal. I don't know. By the way, the governor got in on this as well. Right? The governor this week said that Lincoln Riley was like, "You ever heard of anyone leaving Oklahoma to go to L.A.?" And I'm like, "There was an entire Pulitzer Prize-winning novel about this, and a movie with Henry Fonda. It's called The Grapes of Wrath." It's happened, right? Troy Aikman did it. Plenty of people have done this, right? I am just 0%. It's not even stealing, right? Like taking.
Yeah.
You're just presenting an offer. Players should be able to do this, right? Additionally, as I've said time and time again, I'm living in humidity, and you give me the chance to not live in humidity. I'm 19. I'm taking that.
I mean, I've never been to Oklahoma, so I should not denigrate that state. However, I have been to LA multiple times, and I've seen pictures of Oklahoma. I know what Russ was doing to OKC. Wasn't the Tiger King was in Oklahoma, wasn't he?
Correct.
Yep. Those are my reference points for Oklahoma. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that Lincoln Riley ain't steal nobody. Like LA stole him.
Yeah. Additionally, I will go ahead, and as somebody who has been to Oklahoma on multiple occasions and at multiple locations and has caught catfish with my bare hand in Oklahoma. Okay. I've been noodling in Oklahoma. I will say this: Norman's great. Norman is an outstanding experience. It's a great place to be a college football player. It can compete. If somebody sees that, a great experience, and they see USC in a great experience, it's about fit. That's really it. It's not like, by the way, it's not like OU is going to all of a sudden start losing all of its talent. That hasn't happened in the better part of 80 years of football performance. So, like, I won't cry for Oklahoma here, but at the same point, we're all adults.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the catfish, though? How does that work?
It's called noodling. It's with those gigantic 40, 50-pound, 60-pound catfish that live in rivers. You go in, you take your hand, you put it in a catfish hole in the warrens that they dig in the side of the river. You take it, you wiggle your hands to attract them, and then they bite. And when they bite, you take it, grab it behind the gill, and pull it out. It is awesome. It is an amazing time.
It feels like you just described what the governor of Oklahoma thinks Lincoln Riley is doing to his players.
Quit noodling our players. Wiggling those LA
Stop
fingers.
wiggling your hands in a dark hole and pulling them out. Leave them be. Leave them be.
Noodling for quarterbacks. That's what Lincoln Riley's doing.
The quarterback that they're talking about in this case is from D.C. So as a Maryland Terrapin, I would say they noodled him first. You can't noodle a noodler. He should have been a Terp. But he went all the way out there. You noodled him from us. We noodle him from you. Good. Everyone gets noodled. That sounds fun, actually.
Can we ask about, like, all of the noodling happening through the hole that is the transfer portal, Spencer? Mm-hmm. I actually am, and Domonique, like, I just wonder, like, if this existed also when you were playing college football. Like, this, for all of the, like, moral panic around the transfer portal, it does also seem to be, like, an incredibly new and important thing. Like, at the same time as we're saying, like, you know, this isn't all of that shocking, it is clearly, like, changed this whole sport in meaningful ways, right?
100%. You get the ability to shore up a shorthanded recruiting class, for example, like Florida's done with Billy Napier. Napier got a class which is around 16th, 17th in the country, which, you know, that sounds fine. In the SEC, that means you're toward the bottom of the SEC. Now, he had 2 months to get that class together. He's going to do some shoring up through the transfer portal that otherwise they would not be able to do. Players are going to be able to really take a greater look at their options once they get on another campus and say, this didn't work. Well, too bad, you're stuck for 2 years, right? You're stuck. You were stuck until you get to transfer out. It's a way for everybody to get more flexible in terms of how we manage talent. And it's for talent, it's a way to find a better spot for you. This can't be bad. That cannot be bad. Only in this sport do we do this. In every other facet of American life, we don't have a transfer portal. You just go get another job. You just go to another team. You ask for a trade like James Harden and say your hamstring's tight, right? There are a lot of ways to do this.
Yes.
The transfer portal is like incremental in terms of getting with the rest of the American labor market.
I do like the idea of the shifting power dynamics and all of this though. Like the college athlete does not have any power. The transfer portal gives them like some modicum of power. Like the threats and stuff that I used to hear about coaches making to players was like predicated on the fact that you couldn't transfer or you have to sit out for a year or people would consider you, they would think of you as some type of bad person because you wanted to get out of a situation. It was always assumed that the coach and the institution was doing the right thing. We're at a place now where I think we all understand that that is not necessarily true. And even if they are doing the right thing, you have the right to move on and go somewhere else in the same way that a student should be able to transfer. You don't have to sit out a year of books. You shouldn't have to sit out a year of football. Or you should play football and sit out a year of books at the same time.
Yeah, or if you want to, you can go from LA to Oklahoma. That could happen too. It's all possible with the transfer portal.
Look, guys, injustices were done. Okay, they were done. Who's to say who did it? It just happened.
The cookies were consumed.
So, can I ask a question about Oklahoma? Where would you guys play? Oklahoma, USC, you got the choice. Pick one.
My only question is, are we definitely talking about the USC that's in California?
Yes.
That's,
USC in California.
Okay.
Yeah.
All things are equal. Opportunity, coaching.
Put me at 0% for the Lincoln Riley. Need to convince people for the topic, and 100% for the obviously. Why are we even? Yeah.
I mean, I think Spencer might surprise us.
Am I 18 in this scenario? Right? Am I 18-year-old me? Oh, I'm going to Norman, Oklahoma, because 18-year-old me doesn't need Los Angeles. No.
Oh, really?
That's how I end up on a shipwreck somewhere 50 miles off the coast. That's how I wake up on Catalina. It's not happening.
It looks like you've woken up on a shipwreck today.
Yeah. And like I said, imagine at 18. The chances were infinitesimally higher. When I was 18, I barely knew what money meant. You know how much stuff cost in LA? Right?
Fair.
I would be stealing stuff out of the cafeteria in week 2, right?
That's a good point. I mean, I think we all assume because not all of us, but I would assume that obviously I'm taking LA over Norman, Oklahoma, but I think that different players and different people want different things. There are lots of people who would choose Norman, Oklahoma over LA.
There is the point of the pandemic, Domonique, where I did just like Google how many bedrooms could I have if I lived in
oh man, you have
Michigan
a mansion.
suburb?
Oh, you had a mansion for those New York prices you're paying.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, is that like that current $14,000 that you're paying for 80 square feet? Okay, that like multiple people live in. You could buy a 28-bedroom house in Stillwater, Oklahoma, right? And guess what? Pablo? You could wear fancy jeans all the time. All the fancy jeans you can handle.
So many fancy jeans.
Jeans were worn.
You will have to wear church pants to church, though. I don't think you can. I don't think you can get away with whatever you're wearing. Lululemon joggers to church.
Oh yeah, love Lululemon joggers. Wait, Al, speaking of letting things letting things go. What's the latest with the James Harden thing? Because I've just been getting lots of texts on a rail on my computer. Can you just update us in the audience at the very end here as what the hell have we missed while we've been talking about
Stand by, let me do a tiny bit of research, but as I look at this, I do want to show you one tweet so you guys can filibuster for a bit while I get you a good update. And it comes from Long Live the Queen, who said that actually on James Harden is going to sign with Arkansas this offseason when he finds out there's someone who strips on the court post-game.
Thanks, Queen. Long live
the Queen.
Thank you for your contributions. You've given us a lot to think about, Queen.
Okay, here's a filibuster question. So James Harden obviously had his jersey lifted to the Raptors.
I got a book full of filibuster questions.
At a strip club. You did buy the book of questions.
All right.
Where would they lift your jersey up to the rafters? What institution is doing that?
Ooh, man alive. Someplace where I did a lot and where I would be recognized. So is that a Dave & Buster's? Is that like a bowling alley? It's probably someplace where I wasted a lot of time. That's So Dave & Buster.
I think it's in the production office of Debatable. I would let you guys just pull my Tiger sweatshirt right up to the top of those rafters. All right, here we go. You ready for a question, Pablo?
Yep.
If it would greatly reduce crime in your community, would you be willing to have continuous video monitoring of all roads, walkways, parks, and other public spaces? It's a terrible question.
What? I mean, is it certainly one that I find increasingly relevant given my head of a household status? I mean, certainly, but you know.
Alabaster, you really need to hurry up on this research.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I got the answer.
We're
I just
dying
didn't know
out
where
here.
that was gonna go. Okay,
Yeah,
so,
I gotta know that.
I'm about
Woj
to
right now says that
gentrify
right
neighborhoods.
now James Harden is likely to be with the Nets again. It's always fluid, but I don't sense an appetite from Brooklyn to do a deal that's simply Ben Simmons for James Harden. So it looks like all of that screaming might get nowhere. But it's fluid, so who knows?
How's that hammy feeling?
Extra
Hammy,
tight.
we're on hammy watch.
Oh, fluid. Yeah, I guess it is fluid.
You looking for some way to tie this to a strip club unnecessarily?
I already
Pablo?
have, and the question
Please
is
don't.
like, is this too gross? Actually?
Yes, it is 100%. It's unnecessary, gross.
I mean, maybe James Harden's about walkable communities. Maybe he wants a nice
Yeah,
belt. Maybe he wants a
exactly.
nice belt line or greenway. You ever thought of that?
Right, I like that.
Maybe his new
Golf
passion's
courses.
gardening. Yeah, needs a little real estate so that he can get the marigolds popping.
Ooh,
green
yeah, he
cities.
does seem like a
Earthy?
horticulturist.
Earthy? Yeah.
Yeah. Green is an interest
Oh, I can't wait to
many
be
of
off of
us.
this call with Pablo.
at this point.
Get me the hell out of here.
Guys, the show was
Freedom.
done. The show was done.
We did it.
The show was completed.